Hey, what's up guys, this is Hasnen and you're watching Trending Codes. So first of all, I'm sorry I didn't make a video last week because I was busy in conducting workshops on Flutter with a couple of universities, and yeah, I got a time to make a video. And let's talk about dynamic theming with the previous app which we created for a soft UI. The app was making a soft UI in a music player, and you can see on the screen. So what exactly we are going to do is this is how it's going to work. If I just go ahead and click on this more button, it's gonna change my theme. Now this theme is not limited to a single page. The theme is if you have 5 pages in the app, this theme will get changed on all the 5 pages. So you're changing this theme to the whole app using a state management technique, and the well-known state management package is a provider right now, and we will be using provider in this. So there is no rocket science over here. What we will do, you can see on the screen, we will create two different themes over here which returns a theme data. So we have something called dark theme and light theme, and those both theme will be having different colors, different box shadows, okay, and different icons and they have different primary color as well. So depending on that, our provider will pick one of them. If we change to a dark, it takes the data of dark theme and then make a changes to our whole app. So we will pass the theme to our provider, and provider will change the theme throughout the app. So you just take a look over here. If I just go ahead and click over on this back button, I will be navigated to a different page where you can see right now it's in a dark theme. Now I'll just go back and change my theme to a light theme, and you can see on my next page as well the theme is light. So how do we achieve that? Now this is not done yet. The another part is how do we define the box shadows? See, defining the colors of scaffold into a theme data, we get an option, something called, we need this kind of scaffold background. We can just go ahead and give the color directly. But what if you want to change something manually? For example, you don't get an option inside the theme data of changing your box shadow colors because we don't have something inside our theme data right now. So what you can do is you just grab the current brightness and then make a changes into our app. So we will do that, and let's see how we can customize our theme and how do we do that throughout the app. Okay, so first thing first, last time we stopped somewhere over here in the previous tutorial, and we created a soft UI. And yeah, now in this UI we are going to work with the theme. So first thing first, you need to define your custom theme, and for that what you're going to do is you're going to create a new file, something called theme.dart, and this file is going to have a class which will be using theme data, and theme data is given by a material package. So first thing, you need to import the material package. So after you import your material package, you're going to go ahead and create a class named as custom theme. Right now this class, what is going to do is there's a typo in custom. Okay, so this class is going to have two different methods. The first one is a dark theme and a light theme. So of course that method is going to return a theme data. So our return type of that method is going to be a theme data, and let's go ahead and create a dark theme first. So I'm going to have a dark theme over here, and which is going to return the theme data dot dark theme dot copy width. Make sure you're going to use a copy width, so that creates an exact copy of whatever we are going to create inside a copy width method. So first thing, we are going to create a scaffold background for the dark. So of course it is going to be somewhat around black. So I have a color code over here, and you can just go ahead and use the same color code into your app. or you can customize according to your need. So over here I have something called 232 and 124. It's a 124, yeah. So let me just verify. Through 232 124, yeah. Now the scaffold is going to be a black, and then we are going to define our brightness. Of course, it's a dark theme, so the brightness is going to be dark, okay. And then we're gonna define our primary color, and most probably we can just go ahead and create not a primary color but the primary color brightness, and that is going to be a brightness dark as well. So I don't think so we'll be using this, so I'm going to remove that. We are not going to use this. Actually, the brightness is enough. And then we are going to use our icon theme data, so that we get a different colors for both the theme of the icon. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create the I guess white 30 will be fine. So colors dot white 30 in the dark theme, and we'll just go ahead and create the text as well, text theme as well. So inside our dark theme we need to have a kind of gray color text. So for that we are going to use text theme, and inside text theme we are going to use our body 1. So basically whenever you use a text directly into your app, that is our body 1 text. If you don't know what exactly I'm talking about, then you need to go ahead and check out how a text or how theming work. So we're going to use over here a text style, not the theme but the text style. And inside text style we are going to parse our we need to change our color for the both theme. So we are going to use colors dot white 30. Yeah, white 30 will be good. So now we have our dark theme ready. So let's just go ahead and check whether it's gonna work or not. So I have a dark theme over here. So what I will do, I'll just copy the dark theme right over here, and inside my theme data I will just go ahead and try to use this theme right over here. So what I will do is custom theme, the custom theme, and from the custom theme I'm going to use my dark theme, and let's see what we get. Yeah, so we got something, but there was an error. There's a blink in the error. Let us see what we have. Yeah, so as you can see, the theme has been changed, but we are specifically making a background color over here, so we need to remove that background color to make our theme work. And you can see our theme work perfectly fine. But now, as you can see, we have some problem for the box shadows. So how do we define the box shadows, and why do we have that white color, still the white color for the containers? So let's just go ahead and get rid of that. Okay, so we have something like this, and we need to get rid of the button colors. So what we will do is we will go to our utils.dart, and we have given a background color to all the containers. So what we can do is we can use the same color, which is going to be same for scaffold background and our button background color. So what we can do is we can just go ahead into a decoration, search for our color just over here, and instead of using color over here, we can just go ahead and let me just go ahead and copy so that I can find and replace it easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use theme data, theme dot of context, dot over here I'm going to use scaffold background color. So now the problem is we don't have a context over here, so what we will do is we will just get the context from our main class. So go to the main dot and pass the context from right over here, right? And then come back to the utils dot, and now what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead, you're gonna pass these colors, and at the place of these colors you're going to paste this everywhere. So I'll just paste it. I get at the 6th place, I'll paste it everywhere. Okay, so everywhere I'm gonna have an error because all the different methods doesn't have a built context. So what I will do is I will just go ahead and replicate everywhere a built context. So I'll just copy this and I will paste right over here, right over here, right over here, and right over here. In the same way, I'm going to pass the context in all the methods which we're using inside utils dot. And for now, as you can see, we got the background color of our theme. But now the problem is we have a different box shadows for both dark and light theme. So let's go ahead and take a look how we can deal with that. Okay, so as you can see, for our box shadows we have more dark white color and we cannot see these box shadows to which is not looking good. So how do we get rid of that? So right now what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate my colors inside a box shadow. So right now we are on the album image. So let's just go ahead and work first on the app bar. So over here I have my container, okay, and that container is having 2 box shadows, and right now the first box shadow is having a dark color and a white color. So what we want to do is we need to reduce that white color to kind of less white. So we'll be blending that white to a black for 0.1 opacity of that white color. So how do we do that? So first of all, we need to know which theme is active right now. How do we get that? So using this brightness data, we can get to know that which theme is active right now, and there are multiple ways to know which theme is active. So go to your utils dot, and first thing first, just go ahead and Control X this or Command X this, and you need to know that which theme is active. So you can just go ahead and do something like this: theme of context dot brightness. You get the brightness, and then what you're going to do is you're going to create that, you're going to convert into toString dot to lowercase. Right now you might be getting some string over here saying that brightness dark or brightness light. Now you need to check which brightness you'll be getting. So you'll be getting something called brightness dot light or brightness dot dark. So at this place, if you're getting brightness dot light, at that place we are going to use this color, right? So the color is going to be the previous color which we did as in Control X. So I'll be using the color dot from RGBO. So basically we'll be using 0.9 opacity for the white one, and whenever theme is light, so of course you're going to use this in a string, because this particular thing, theme dot context of brightness dot toString, is going to return a string. Now we're gonna check if it is a light theme, then we're going to use the color dot RGBO with opacity of 9, or else with an opacity of 1. Let's save it and see what we have. So that looks perfectly fine. Now we need to do the same stuff with our another box shadow, which is somewhere over here. So I'll just go ahead, first format the code so that we'll get a perfect look of our code. Now I'll be using the same data or the same thing right over here, and I'll be changing the color according to the need. So what I'll be doing now is I need when my theme is light, I need the RGBO of let me just make sure. Okay, when my theme is light, I need an RGBO dark with 0.1 opacity. So I will put 0.1 over here and 0.9 over here, and all this goes to 0 because we are working on a dark color, that is black color, right? And let's go ahead and save it and we'll see what we have. So you can see we have a perfect black soft UI. Now I'll just go ahead and use the same thing for all the box shadows color. So I'll be get back once I just copy paste this stuff. So as you can see, I have just copy pasted for all the buttons and it's looking perfectly fine. Now the another thing is we need to declare a white theme, a light theme for custom theme to use. Right now we have dark theme applied to our material app class, which is over here. But now to get a white theme so that we can switch over to the different theme. So what I will do, I will just return a theme data with the name of light theme, and this theme is going to return me a theme data, and I'm going to use light right now dot copy width, and inside my copy width again I'm going to use all the same stuff but with a different value, so that we get a different color for scaffold, a different colors for icons, and different colors for our text, and even the brightness. So first thing first, we need to change the scaffold background color. So for that we'll be changing the last 6 digit of our scaffold, and that is going to be F4, if I remember it correctly, then EFF 6. Yeah, this color I'm going to change the brightness to a light, and the icon colors are going to be gray, I guess, yeah, with a shade of 600. So it's going to be gray with 600, and the text is going to be with a gray of 800. So colors dot gray with a shade of 800. Now yeah, I have played a lot with this theme, so of course to get a perfect theme over here. So now let's just go ahead and change to our light theme and see what we have. Cool. Again, the problem over here is our box shadows are not getting changed, and why is that? Is because yeah, so I guess I mismatched it or something like that. So when my brightness is light, I should get 0.1 and 0.9. So let's just change it and see what we have. I don't think so, because on when we were on dark we got the perfect look actually. So let me just restart. Okay, so I got the problem is I am changing my theme to uppercase, and then I'm matching that uppercase with the lowercase. So the problem is over here. I'll just go ahead and change to that uppercase to lowercase. So basically this function will return me this string, but externally we are making to uppercase. So of course uppercase of brightness.light is not going to get matched with this string. So yeah, we will just go ahead and do Control F, and then we'll just replace it everywhere, right? And I'll just go ahead and save it. We have again a perfect soft UI which we built in the last video. Now what I will do is I will just go ahead again and I will switch to light dark theme and see what we have. Our theme got changed. So now how we do that using a state management technique on a button click. Let's just go ahead and take a look on that. Okay, so to make that work throughout the app, we need to use a state management technique, and the well-known state management technique is the provider. So using a provider, we will be creating a block and we will be passing that block throughout our app. So to use a provider, first you need to use the dependencies into your pubspec.yaml. You're going to use provider and then hit Control Save. It will download the package and it is ready to use. Now how do you use it? How do we create a block for our theme? So we will be creating a theme block, and whenever any change happen to that block, it will notify to our whole app and the theme will get changed according to the user requirement, whatever the user passes. Now to create a theme block, we are going to create a new file, and I will be naming that file as a theme block dot dart. Now inside that we are going to use theme data. So of course we need to import material package, and this material package is going to get theme data. So now I'll be using a class. I'll be creating a class called theme block, and it will extend our change notifier from our provider. So this change notifier will help us to look after any change happen throughout the app, and then allow that change or to rebuild the widget tree without a stateful widget. So I'll be using theme data, and I'll be creating a private variable called theme data. I'll be creating a constructor now called theme block, and this theme block will always have at least one theme specified, right? So whenever app get initialized or whenever app gets run, or when user opens the app, at least one theme should be there by default. Now I'll be using a getter and setter, or I'll be defining a getter and setter to get the theme data and to set the theme data. So first let's just go ahead and define the get theme data, and you can do that in a Dart with something like this. So this is a callback to our theme data, which returns the current theme data which is being passed inside the constructor. So how do you set the theme data is something like this: set theme data So this is the method which we will be creating, is a set theme data, and then go ahead and over here you cannot use a callback method because you'll be passing the theme data. So over here we'll be getting the current theme when user click on the button, and that theme is going to be a theme data, and we call it as theme data. Now inside our this method, what we're going to do is the theme data, which is local variable, is going to get assigned with the past theme by the user, right? And after that yeah, when we change something to the theme data, we are going to say that notify the listeners. So whoever is listening to this block should get changed to the current theme data, right? Now let's just go ahead and implement our block inside our material, main dot dot. So to implement your change throughout the app, your first widget tree, or right now our parent for all whole widget tree is material app, but in this case your material app should be wrapped with something called change notifier provider, right? So that whatever happens throughout the app we can get from the change notify provider, and then we can pass it to our whole app. So how do we do that is yeah, we can just go ahead and create the one more class that is going to be a stateless widget, and that stateless widget we are going to create my material app, and this material app is going to have return that is going to return actually a material. So let's just go ahead and yeah, let's just go ahead and give this just Control X and paste it over here. Now our main class, that is MusicSoft UI, is going to have something called return change notifier provider, right? And this provider is going to have a specific generic theme, that is this block. So we'll be using this theme block right over here. So we get a generic type, and if it throws an error, let's just import it. Now instead of null, what we're going to do is we are going to make our callback to set the theme, at least for the first time when user create that. So I'll be using theme block constructor, theme block, yep. And first time when our app runs, we'll be passing the light theme. So by default we'll be having at least one theme whenever the user uses, or whenever just user opens the app for the first time. So I'll be using my custom theme dot light theme, right? And how do we define a child to this provider? So our child is going to be let's just format the document. Yeah, now we're gonna parse a child to this change notifier listener, that is our my material app. So let's just make sure that our app doesn't have any problem, and let's just rebuild it. Okay, so right now I don't think so we have any problem, and our app is working fine. So now we have something created into a change notifier listener over here, and we are setting light theme, but still our theme is not being used over here. So how do we use that? Let's just take a look on that. Okay, so now to get the current theme, that is our light theme, which is being created using theme block class. So what we will do, we will just go ahead over here and we will create a variable, a final current theme, the current theme, and this theme is going to get from a provider. So use a provider dot of context dot theme. Yeah, so we don't have context over here. Why we getting error is, yeah, so Okay, the reason we are getting an error because we need to parse a generic theme block so that we get to know that for which block we are talking about, right? And then what we will do is from this we'll be getting our get theme data, right? So now we're getting an warning over here. So what is that warning is all about? Okay, the type of current theme data is inferred. Okay, so we need to parse a generic. Okay, so we are getting an error is because we don't have a context over here, as I said before. Yeah, of course we get a context inside a build method and we are doing a silly mistake. We should go ahead and create our variable of current theme inside, you know, build context, so that we can get the context over here and we can pass the context to a provider to get a change. Now what we will do, we will just go ahead and use that current theme right over here, and here we go. We can see that we are able to get the current theme using a provider. Now what happens when user clicks on this button, on this more horizontal button icon, and the theme get changed? So to do that, what we will do is we will go to our utils.dart and we will find our more horizontal button. So over here, this is the icon and this is the whole container. I'll be wrapping this container with material, and or else we can just go ahead and type with the gesture detector to get a tap gesture. So gesture detector, and then I'm going to use on tap, and this on tap is going to change the theme. So this theme is going to call the set theme of theme block. This is going to call this theme block. So what we will do is we will change the theme using on tap function. Okay, so over here what we can do now is we need to get which theme is active right now. So for example, using theme dot off context dot brightness dot toString dot to lowercase. So this is the same way how we did for the box shadows. So I'll be getting something like this, right? Now if I have a light theme, then of course I'm going to set a dark theme. So I'll be using provider dot off context, and make sure you pass the generic to get access to that particular class. Theme block dot context dot set theme data. So theme data accepts the theme data that is going to be our custom theme. So basically when my theme is light, I'm going to pass custom theme dot dark theme, right? Just go ahead and reformat the document. Okay, I need to put a semicolon so that shows the end of the statement. Yeah, so I just missed this. So yeah, I was missing a semicolon to end the statement, and yeah, now it's working perfect. It's working perfectly fine. Now let's just go ahead and change our theme. So right now nothing happens, so let me just go ahead and save it, and the gesture detector is on more horizontal, right? Let's just go ahead and reload our app to get perfect. Okay, now nothing happens. So yeah, I figured it out why we cannot use this stuff, and you can see the error which is coming in the console right now if I just go ahead and click on this more horizontal button. So you can see that on tap is the recognizer, and they are saying that try to listen to a value exposed with a provider from the outside of the widget tree, and this is a bad way to use this, you know. So what we're going to do is we're going to store this value into our widget method, and we are going to make it as a theme, and then we are going to provide this theme right over here. Now we will be using this theme directly over there, so which reduce or which will be getting read by this error. Let's just go ahead, refresh our app and see what we get. So you can easily see we are able to change this theme, and believe me, if you just go ahead and add in another page, and if you're using a correct stuff or you're using a scaffold, then yeah, that is going to work perfectly fine. So I hope that you learn how to make a theme change throughout the app using a provider, and how you can deal with the box shadows when you have multiple themes. Now this app can have 5 to 10 themes, totally depending on the user requirement, and yeah, the provider works perfectly fine with that. So with that said, yeah, that's all from my side. I hope this helped, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye bye, take care.